Assalomu alaykum. Bugun sizlar bilan haqiqiy IELTS speaking imtihonini ko'rib chiqamiz. Faqat bu safar bizning ishtirokchimiz haqiqiy native speaker, ya'ni Amerikadan kelgan mehmonimiz Bleykaman. Ularni qanday qilib IELTSdagi savollarga javob berishini analiz qilamiz, tekshiramiz va haqiqiy ingliz muloqoti qanday bo'lganligini ko'rib chiqamiz siz bilan. Ketdik. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
May I see your ID, please?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. So let's begin our speaking test. In the first part, I'd like to ask you some simple questions about yourself and about your interest. So, where are you from?
I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is a city in the southern part of the U.S. And so I was born there, raised there. Both my parents were born there and raised there. And so if you find it's like very close to Texas, another state, Mississippi. So I lived there up till I was 18, but then for university, I moved to Los Angeles, California.
Okay, where do you live now?
Right now I live in Tashkent. I moved here in September of 2022, and I live in the Alaiski Rayon, or I guess district as you would call it. But I've lived there ever since I moved here, and since I've been here, so for the summers I'll go back to the US. But for 9 months out of the year, I'm here in Tashkent.
Okay, let's talk about films. Do you like watching films?
I do. I would say I like watching TV shows more just because usually I don't have the time for like 2 hours during the day to watch a full movie. But I do love films, especially like when I'm at home alone, just because it's like I'm someone who always likes to talk to people. So if I find myself in a situation where, I don't have that opportunity, I've always just turned to film movies just because if you have a lot of time, it's an easy way to kill it.
Are there any kinds of movies that you don't like very much?
That I don't like? I don't love romance films. I don't know. There are some, of course, that I do like, but I feel like a lot of times they can be cliche or corny or like something that wouldn't necessarily happen in real life, but for the movie, like everything works out perfectly in the end. And, in life it doesn't always happen like that. So sometimes I can see it and be like I know that wouldn't happen.
Okay. So how often do you watch films?
I would say maybe 2 or 3 films in a month. Because like I said, like I usually watch TV shows more, but usually max 3 times. It's usually always at home. Sometimes like people try to invite me to like the movie theater, and like there's a brand new movie that came out, but I'm a lot more comfortable just like sitting at home, watching movies in my own bed on my computer. Just feel a lot more relaxed.
Would you like to be in a movie?
I don't know, because like I think I would like everything that comes with being in a movie, like the fame, like being able to walk around, people recognize you. It would feel good to like see myself on a big screen somewhere, but I know like it wouldn't be natural to me. Usually a lot of times if like a camera gets put on me, like even if I like have memorized something or like I know what I'm going to say, like as soon as I realize like someone's filming me, I like freeze up and like I'll forget things. And so like I feel like I would like the idea, but I don't think I'd be good at it.
Okay, so let's talk about keeping a healthy lifestyle. How often do you drink water?
I drink water all the time. And it's funny because in the US, there's like a very big, like a lot of people will always walk around with like these big water bottles. Like I have one of my own, it's like 32 ounces. And so like usually I'll finish it 3 or 4 times during the day. So like I try to stay as hydrated as I can.
What kinds of water do you like to drink?
Just like flat water. I've had a lot of friends who love sparkling and water with gas, but for me like I drink water not for the taste of course, but just like because I'm thirsty. And like if I'm really thirsty, drinking like water with gas, like it's harder to drink a lot of it at once. So like I usually will only drink still water, but I do like it with ice, just because I love cold water.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is the end of our part 1. So let's go to the part 2. In the part 2, I'd like to ask a question regarding this topic. So you have to talk about this topic for 2 minutes, and you will have 1 minute for preparation. Here's your pen. So 1 minute is up. Please start speaking now.
So my favorite thing to do when I'm alone in my free time is go to the gym and work out. Because usually for a lot of my time during the day, I'm working or studying. I'm doing something that's like making me sit and not move around a lot. So anytime I get the chance, it's usually every day after I finish work or finish my responsibilities, I'll go to the gym. And usually a lot of people like to go with friends just because it's something you can do together. Like you can work out together, you can, like give each other suggestions. But for me, it's always something that like, whenever I go into the gym, it's like I get in the zone. Like I feel like I'm kind of removed from the world. So I guess our daily lives is usually stress and a lot of things that can happen. So like for me, I see the gym as just like a way for me to escape all of that. And so, yeah, I'll usually do it every day, 2-3 hours. Sometimes even if I have more time or if I have something on my mind, I'll stay longer. But I think the reason I like going to the gym so much is, I can't really say there's one reason. I think one of them is I like to play sports a lot. And so going to the gym is like almost practice for that. It's a way of preparing, making myself stronger, healthier. And so like when I do compete or play sports, I know like my performance will be better. But then also I like it just because it helps put me in a routine. I'm someone who's very routine oriented. So like it gets to the point for me, like if I don't go to the gym, I feel like I'm like missing out on something. Like I feel like something was ruined in my day. And so it makes me feel comfortable. But then I also like going there gives me a sense of accomplishment just because it's like you're completing something, you're doing something. It makes me feel more relaxed. Like I have a stressful day, like it's something where I can decompress and just at the end of the day get tired enough to where I can, go to sleep and wake up and do it all again the next day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So in the third part, let's talk about work and leisure time. Do you think people should only focus on work?
No, I think it's natural for every person to go through a phase where work is the most important thing. Maybe, you're just finishing school and like you want to start a career, or you're already working but you want to get a raise or a promotion, something in that regard. I think it's good to have that mindset for just a little bit, but I think if you're constantly only thinking about work and not giving yourself the time to relax, I think that, it's only going to cause problems for you, I guess, on the mental side, because on, the outside to everyone else, it might be like, wow, this person, they have such a good work ethic. They're always trying to, improve. But in reality, like we ourselves, like our brain, our mind, body needs that time to relax, take our mind off the things that could be stressing us out.
Okay. And do you think that people now work more comparing to people in the past?
I think it's about the same. I just think it's mostly the way people work is different. Because before, obviously, technology is nowhere near it is now. So I think now work can be done in different ways, or it can be like automated. Like there's a lot of things that may have required a job 50 years ago, but now we have things like AI or just technologies that make things easier. So like something that could have taken 2 hours to do 20 years ago, you could probably do in 5 now. So I think the amount of work that could be done is about the same, but it's just the way it's completed is different.
Okay. Should parents plan the children's leisure time and activities, do you think?
I think that parents, I don't think they should plan everything. I think their main responsibility is to expose children to many different types of activities. Because, I have a lot of friends who, their parents were football players. And so because of that, or not their parents, but like their dad was a football player. And so because of that, their son was always playing football. Like he was trying to force him down that route. But like for me, like my parents did a good job of like, I wasn't just doing sports. They would make me play music. They would invite me to other friends' places. So like they were giving me the option to like figure out for myself what I enjoy. They were giving me potential possibilities, and then from there they could see how I was reacting, what I liked the most, and then from there it was easier for them to like kind of just let me choose my own path.
Okay, thank you. And do you think the activities of young generation are different from those of older generation?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is just technology related, because I've had conversations with my grandpa, and like I had a couple of my friends over at my house once, and he was there, and like he was making fun of us just because it'd be like we were all hanging out together, but everyone was just on their phone, scrolling through Instagram, looking at things online. We weren't even really looking at each other or talking to each other. So I think a big reason for that is just technology, and like people become easily distracted now. Back then, they didn't have that option. So like all these interactions and the way people would hang out with each other was completely different. It was all based off of, I guess, real things and not necessarily something that was going on thousands of miles away.
Okay. Thank you. This is the end of our speaking test. Thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you.